Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode of The Watcher's Point of View. Your host, JP Spector, back again, along with that fat girl, Dana. Once again, we're back, welcoming you with an open heart and open mind to the show. As you guys saw from our allegedly quick update, there's been a lot going on and other good stuff, but hey, we're back, and things are looking good. Things are doing well. How you been since our last episode hangout?
Great. How have you been?
You know, I wake up in the morning, it's a good day. I do. That's one of my go-tos, waking up in the morning and automatically, so if I can feed myself, you know, able to take care of myself.
Wipe your own ass.
Yeah, you already know. It's a good day, man. Really.
All right.
As long as you can do that.
All right.
And after, once again, like we talked about beforehand, even in private, it's just stuff that you see every day, man, and people who can't do for themselves. Mm-hmm. So the little small things you can't do, be thankful. Be very thankful. You know, it's just part of what we're talking about today, spiritual stuff. No. Yeah, we're not gonna talk it on the spectral level of like ghost hunting and stuff like that. We'll save that for the October dealio that we're gonna be doing. Giggity.
I didn't know about this yet.
Of course you knew about it.
Did I?
Yeah. Well, it's everything spiritual. You always know about everything, but you don't know everything. But you think you know everything. But if you look into your third eye, you'll know everything. Yeah, it's just the whole thing of talking spiritual crap of knowing, not knowing. We're going to get into all that tonight. A couple shout outs I want to give, though, man, to some of our people out here. And shout outs just in general to people who, you know, listen to the show and kind of give us a lot of support. Save 22. My boy and his crew out there doing good. Tom's barbecue sauce. But it's called Tom's sauce. One of the actual people who is his wife, and we're going to actually talk about like her stuff because she sells stuff at Crystals and Herbs company. It's on my Shopify, but we'll leave that in the description.
Got it.
With the guys, great stuff. Essentially Yours, my girl Paige, always doing great work with her oils and other incense and things of that nature. Give it up to Operation Combat Bike Saver for the veterans. I already said Save 22. 300 because he's my brother. Canines for Veterans, non-for-profit. 22 to None, all those great guys who are doing everything they can to get that awareness out for the veterans and try to get that 22 number down to 0. It's actually more than 22, but we definitely want to see that number down to 0.
Did it spike more because of COVID?
It's been spiked, man. Like, for real. That number is a generic number that has stuck, but it is a baseline number.
Got it.
That's what I've described it as. It's just a baseline number to get that awareness, like, kind of trigger out. Saying 22 veterans a day, 22 veterans a day. And it's way higher than that. It's way higher than that.
That sucks a lot.
Yeah, the stats are just totally crazy. So these different groups out here, they're doing a lot for the veterans and getting awareness out there, getting the message out there. They're not alone. You know, contact these people. I will leave links in the descriptions below. And if you ever need anything from these guys and these ladies, man, they're there for you, for real. They take care of business. Of course, our main sponsors. Wisconsin Dells House of Jerky. Got to give them some love. You know, Tracy and Tony, they're great people, man. I love those guys. They are the best. And, of course, one of my main boys, you know, Jim the Joker Akuti, my VP, and also the head of the Asylum Toy Company. You know, if you have a hard-to-find toy, that's the brother to go and talk to. Once again, I'll leave all those little links and contact information in the description below, and depending on where, if we have it in Spotify, I'll leave it in there, but definitely since YouTube for the videos and
Facebook
Podbean,
and
well, you wouldn't believe some of this stuff that some of these platforms that they're like, here, put it here, add this here, I'm getting messages from platforms now saying, "Here, put it on this platform. Here, add us on your platform." I'm like, "Huh? What?"
When are you going to pay me?
Exactly. So wait, go to your platform for what? And also,
what are you giving me for that?
Right? Money for nothing and checks for free.
Checks.
Giggity. Yeah, caught that right. And of course, the energy drink that we both love, Sneak Energy Drink. Mm-hmm. Man, that is the bomb. And if you guys don't know about Sneak Energy Drink, try it.
It's
better than G Fuel and half the other stuff out here. But enough of that for right now. Well, like I said, give everyone their love a little bit later on. But, man, like we talked about in the last update, spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
And, let's say, got a little contact from people with spirituality, meditation. People have, like I said, hit up about different reviews, places to go, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. But I did get another one.
Okay.
Little deal. And it was from somebody who said, "Hey, listen, I remember you talked early on about spirituality." I was like, well, yeah. That's going to be a long episode.
Or several episodes.
That's where my head is.
Yeah.
Because we can't touch on it. I'm not going to lie, people. We're not going to touch on everything in one night.
Heck
and
no.
One day. Or within an hour and a half. Or even if we did like a Joe Rogan deal and did a 3-hour podcast, we still wouldn't be able to touch on.
No. And I'd probably have to pee in the middle of it. So, we're not doing that.
That could be a thing.
I'm an old lady.
That could be a thing. Yeah. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that.
Hey, I'm just being honest. My bladder only is, for so long.
No, I get it. But, man, it's like, where do we begin with the whole spirituality thing? Because we have so many
different facets to all of it.
There's paths, avenues, variables. Mm-hmm. Like, let's skip the whole organized religion or the religious aspect of spirituality.
Okay.
But, the thing...
Because we kind of covered that in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
Where we started off and went to wherever we went. Right.
But my biggest thing now is in this world, everything's so fast-paced with the COVID, and everything's fast-paced with people being locked at home and their minds are wandering, and no one's actually taking any time to learn or know how to meditate.
I'm going to disagree with you on that.
Talk to me on it.
I feel that more people are meditating.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, talk to me about it.
I'm on this app called Insight Timer.
An app?
Yes. Okay. Hey.
On that date, do you see me up, like, announcing an app? No, I just said an app, like, okay.
Yeah, this app I use every day.
Talk to me on it.
I've actually done 360 days worth of meditation.
Really? As of today's date, you've done 300 and...
I don't know exactly.
Approximately. You don't
I can look it up on my phone.
Oh, she brings her phone with.
Well, it's not like I'm talking on it.
No,
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. See what I did there? Organized religion. Wow. 359 days total, but I've done 92 days in a row. That's one of the things I like about this app is that it tells you...
What's the name of the app again? Well, you might as well plug it. Since you're like,
I love
this app and blah, blah, blah.
I do love it. It's called Insight Timer.
Okay.
And it's got many, many, many huge downloads that you can use. When you say
downloads,
you don't have to actually download them. It's got like
I won't count that as you hitting the...
Yeah, because I didn't hit it. That was my phone hitting
the
cord.
Right.
The mic.
So talk to me on it.
So it's got all these free meditations, and they're by different categories, and they're different people that do them. What's his name? Saguru? You know who he is? You know what?
Saguru is...
he's on there.
He's actually one of the people I wanted to talk about tonight.
Really?
Yeah,
love him.
Saguru, and we'll keep telling. Because we digress.
We'll
Don't forget, we digress.
So for the month of January, they did a morning meditation challenge, and I was like, well, I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. So I meditated every morning, and I continue to do that for now 6 days. Mm-hmm. And it kind of really changed my my mindset, obviously.
Okay.
But meditating as much as I do, like daily, actually does change your brain chemistry, which is important for me because I suffer from depression. So doing that, I have not really had a bad bout of depression since last year, which is kind of amazing for me because I usually...
I know you had your mood swings and you had your ups and downs.
Right. So, I mean, I've been depressed when my horse died. I mean,
right. Well,
you're going to be depressed for that.
That's grief.
Right.
You're grieving.
Exactly. So, but like my regular just depression that pops in hasn't, which I'm like, okay. So that's why I recommend meditating. Well, I mean, aside from just that benefit, there's other benefits that, because you can do chakra meditations, like, and I have to do everything guided.
Okay.
Just because my brain doesn't shut up enough, and I need someone to keep telling me, okay, now go back to your breath if your mind has wandered.
You definitely have monkey mind.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like, no tomorrow.
Okay.
So, guided is always is my go-to.
Okay.
But I kind of decide during my week what I need. Like, sometimes I need chakra balancing. Sometimes I just need, like, goal orientation or opening certain chakras, like opening my third eye a lot more, which I have. The infamous third eye. You know, I just, like, when I'm not feeling quite as balanced in certain areas, I will, you know, look for those kind of meditations.
Totally get it.
Yeah. There's, like, ones for finding your soulmate and connecting with your twin flame and, you know, all that kind of different kind of stuff, which I'm kind of here or there with that. And sometimes I believe in, sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's crap. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. And like I said, I was kind of laughing when you were talking about this and I was like, yeah, Sadhguru. Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah.
What I like about him is he has a very direct, non-apologetic approach to
everything.
Truthfully, everything.
Right. Everything.
But when he talks about manifestation, affirmations, even talking about Shiva and all these other gods and goddesses and giving parables of stories, he's very universal.
Yes.
In his talking. That's what I really like about him. Him, another person that some people say he's like a cultist and he's got a bad rap, Ralph Smart.
Okay.
Ralph Smart, Mr. Breathing in that good ass prana, baby.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Breathing in that good ass prana.
Right.
You know, Mr. And we even have breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? Like I said, I'm not making fun of the guy. I'm literally, you know, that kind of lets you know how much I watch him.
Right.
I've actually watched a lot of Ralph Smart. What I do like about him is he's very uplifting, very positive. I can see why he has millions of viewers. I really can. Because he has the energy. He talks about 7-day vegan challenges and challenging yourself and using things that are around you, like, hey, you know, I've been vegetarian for this time, then I went vegan. He tells you his story. Like, it's not like he's pulling punches at all. He's just keeping it 100 with you.
Right.
And he kind of shows you how to think outside the box. You know, he talks about not living in the direct matrix, unplugging from it, getting out in nature.
Right.
He talks about the third eye, how to open the third eye, balancing chakras, bad toxic people, what is actually toxicity. You know, he takes a lot of the generic terms that people are throwing around,
like energy vampire.
But he'll break down like an energy vampire to you. And you know, I don't know if he has an episode of that, but he has talked about energy draining before. He's talked about vibrations, raising vibrations. He's really.
Do you do that with your water?
Yes, believe it or not. Yeah, go ahead and snitch on me. Thanks.
No, I'm just asking.
No, seriously, vibrations, harmony.
But how do you lift the vibration in your water?
For me, it's twofold.
Okay.
I actually use music
Okay.
and binary beats.
All right.
You know,
'Cause I use-
yeah, it's frequency based.
I have
"You
little
bunch of weirdos."
I have little cards that say love and gratitude that I put my water on.
All right, so you use affirmation cards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I do mine via music, like I said. But that's the thing, too, about spiritual stuff, is you have so many different avenues of spirituality, especially when we talk about meditation. And then it's like, what are we meditating about or on? Are we meditating for calmness? Are we meditating for clarity?
Right.
What are you meditating for? It's like when you go into meditation, I personally feel you need to have a purpose before you start meditating.
Yeah, that's why when I'm looking through the app, usually I have an idea of what I want to do, but sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to scroll through this 5 million meditations and see what I'm looking for.
And truthfully, I've had the same issue before. I can't really call it an issue, but there are days I want to do strictly chakra work. Like strictly, I want to do open heart, open mind. You know,
Right.
And
I work a lot on my throat, though, because honestly, as much as I talk here, I don't really stick up for myself in a lot of other avenues of my life.
I get that.
So,
well, believe it or not, the whole watcher's point of view stemmed from me meditating. No joke.
That makes sense.
The whole emblem of the meditation pose, the palms upward, receiving.
Right.
You know.
I gave you that idea.
And the triangle, you know, with the heart inside the middle, with the eye there. And it's like the open heart and open mind are combined together. It's the combination that's necessary
Right.
for feeling, clarity, creativity. Just there's so much to that when people really start looking into the third eye chakra.
Right.
And when they look at the heart chakra. When they look at these chakras and really get to know what they're about, it's like, you know, I don't want to give too much away in the podcast. You know,
why not?
I kind of want people to do some research too. You know,
well, I mean, they can do research outside.
It's like, I'm like the generalization right now. Like, here, I'm going to give you enough, but go look for yourself. Don't take my word for it.
Well, I mean, people.
I want people to explore, and that's.
I get that. However.
People need
we
to
are
get
teachers.
I will agree with that too.
So
we are teachers, but
we need to
you got a
teach
homework
the
assignment.
flock.
But you got to get a homework assignment too now.
Homework's overrated.
Homework's highly overrated. That's coming from two people who dealt with a lot of homework back in the day.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, look, you're going on spring break.
Oh, here's two books you can read.
Paper, a book report, and
here,
science project. No,
10,000 things of math.
So wait, this is April now. So no, this would be the history fair. Be history fair time.
Oh, we didn't have history. We didn't have fairs when I was in school.
God,
I had no frickin' science fair. Whenever I saw that on TV, I was like, who the hell has science fairs? Not us.
Well, we did.
I live in the middle of nowhere, so nowhere had science fair. No science fairs.
We so did.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you were, closer to the city.
Yeah, true.
I'm in the middle of nowhere.
True. But definitely with the meditation, just sitting down without even going into the lotus pose with your legs crossed, things of that nature, just sitting down in silence to understand what silence truly is. Mm-hmm. And people are like, well, that doesn't make no sense. Silence is just silence. No.
It's got something going on.
You
can hear energy.
You will actually start feeling it, I personally.
Well, yeah.
I feel it first before I actually hear the humming and the resonating, like rhythmic hum.
Got it.
Like the frequency. Mm-hmm. I can actually almost hear that raising.
Nice.
I can feel the vibration starting to like move upward. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like a shaky. And then it's like a wave almost.
Interesting.
And then the sound. My ears will start ringing. Mm-hmm. Like
you should go to
strong
Science of Spirituality. Oh, it's a place in, I think it's in Lisle, Illinois. Their meditation room, you walk in and it's like that.
Really?
It's amazing.
Is it soundproofed or do they?
Yeah.
Is it a quiet room? Like they have some of those rooms where they say you can only stay in for so long?
No, you can stay there all day if you wanted to.
Deafening, like scarily quiet, and you can start hearing your heartbeat and everything else like that.
Well, I don't think I didn't stay in there that long because we were actually there for an event.
Okay.
So I went there and we kind of just went in and I was just like, holy crap.
It's that nice, huh?
Yeah.
Well, the way you're describing it, and for me and you who understand meditation and kind of mindset of that, when you walk in there, do you actually get into that Zen kind of headspace?
You kind of get into it like, so you have to take your shoes off before you go in there.
Okay.
And then there's a like a locker room you put your shoes in. Mm-hmm. And then you open the door and you kind of walk around a corner. It's kind of rounded. It's kind of weird. It's kind of hard to explain. But the room is kind of oval.
Okay.
And then there's like a bench that goes all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
And I just walking into the door was like, okay.
So you can feel a shift of energy.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get behind that.
And then once I was in there, and there were 2 other people in there besides myself and Karen, mm-hmm. and I sat down and I was like, okay, and I'm here, and like, I was just
so mentally you just went right to it.
Yeah.
Now,
but I've never really had a hard time grounding myself. That's been really easier for me, like my whole life. Like I'll just sit there and be like, boom, and I'm there.
That's what I was going to ask. Someone who is new to meditation, new to spirituality, new to just getting into that headspace, do you think they would experience the same thing on any level?
Yes.
Okay.
In that particular space, if you had any like thought of spirituality or thought of connection with the earth or with what you to believe is God or whatever you call it, connected to your higher self,
okay,
you would feel the change instantly.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was.
I want to check that. I might want to check it out just for shits and giggles.
It's cool. It's really cool. I haven't been there since the pandemic, but yeah, we all know how that goes. But it's worth the trip to just sit in that room.
Okay.
But they have lectures and they have meditation classes, like huge classes. This place is amazing.
Well, you said oval. The only thing I started thinking about was third eye. When you started saying that and going into that kind of auto like headspace and other zone. Mm-hmm. When I do any kind of third eye work, that's how I feel.
Really?
It's like I feel dropped into a zone. Like, well, here's the thing. With all my allergies and everything, summertime and I are not friends. Okay. There's nothing.
You know what I've found that works for people who have really bad allergies? Getting one of those little oil diffusers, like the ones with the water, and eucalyptus.
Doesn't help me that much.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to put more eucalyptus in there then.
My thing is asthma is a bad thing for me. The hotter it is, the worse my asthma gets. But I will say this, though. I love being outdoors, And truthfully, I'll tell anybody, if you're into meditation, if you are trying to meditate, if you're looking to get grounded, get into a rhythm, find yourself an area. A trail is the best way to start off with. My backyard is my space. You have a huge backyard. Well, yeah, and it's up against a horse farm. So. And not everyone has that luxury. True. So or just sit next to your favorite tree. To the original statement. Sorry. for those of us who don't have that luxury. You have a tree in your backyard. You could sit next to your tree. No. Starting off, I would say people need to get out there and actually start the vibration. They need to walk. They need to walk a trail. Okay. They need to set their intentions while walking personally. Meditation and this is something, when me and my friends or people who are new to spiritual stuff, and they talk about, well, how is it that when you're outdoors, you feel more alive and you feel more awake, and it doesn't matter if it's daytime or nighttime for you. My reasoning is, being out in nature, I get to put the things that are bothering me into the ground. It's like, that's my release zone.
Technically, you could do it in your house.
I don't want that in my house.
It's not in your house, though.
That's how I perceive it.
Okay.
So
but
that's,
it's not.
but it's once again, it's perception. It's on everyone's perception.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with your opinion or my opinion on that, or anyone's opinion on that. Whatever perception they have, that's the beautiful thing about spirituality and meditation and things of this nature. It doesn't have specific details to it. Well, you have to be outdoors.
Right.
You have to be indoors. You have to be in
You
cold
can
water.
actually visualize being outside.
Exactly. That's
which
part
is
of it
what I
too.
do most of the time. And lately, the last couple of weeks, I've actually kind of been outside of myself, looking at myself. Not like astral projection.
Outside looking in.
But not like an astral projection, but an actual, like, visualizing what I look like meditating, which seems kind of strange to me, but calming all at the same time.
Well, it works for you.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from either.
But see, that's like me. I have to be outdoors.
Okay.
I have to be outdoors, and I have to have that rhythmic movement.
But I have so much outdoor history in my body and in my memories, because my whole life has mostly been outside.
Right.
And because I've lived in the country my whole life, that I can just tap into that, and I don't actually have to be in physical outsideness.
And see, I'm the exact opposite.
Right.
Being indoors, I'm fine with. I don't have any problems with it. But that recharge, I have to be outside.
And that's why I told you should have done that today.
Well, that wasn't happening. So, no, but because it's not where I need to do it at. I have specific places I want to go.
Right. But sometimes you have to allow yourself. You like to limit yourself
It's not
a lot.
This is not a limitation for me.
It's not?
No, this is not a limitation. The way I have to have my particular meditation for what's going on with me at certain times done, if I'm specifically saying I need to go here, 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 and here, or I have to walk here and go here, and at this stage stop, give my praise and thanks, then give my affirmations, and continue on, I have to do that at certain locations.
Interesting.
That's just me.
Yeah. My connection is,
that's that ritual.
Yeah.
That's
See, you're
part of the
stuck in ritual, and I'm not.
And my ritual, because when it's like a comfortable shoe.
Right.
You get a ritual going, and you have certain things that you do. You just go with it because it's never failed you. Now, am I saying that I'm not a free person? No. I'll go anywhere. And, even outside in the backyard if I have to. But when certain things are going on in your life, or when you're being bombarded, that ritual that I will do, or if someone has another ritual that they do for themselves, but whatever ritual people have, by doing that, it's almost an instant calming.
Okay.
It's like, okay, there's the instant calm, but now I have to complete this cycle to get me where I need to be.
Yeah, I don't need all that.
Well, and everyone's different.
That's right.
And everyone's different with
like
that.
My connection with
Your higher power.
My higher self. I came into the world knowing. So the locations aren't necessarily for me a thing, and ritual for me is very difficult. And it seems to get in the way with my connection.
And mine's is simplistic.
Okay. No, but like,
see,
that's what I noticed.
This is good for people to know, though.
Right.
Because it shows, like, this is a perfect example of what works for you versus what works for me. And this is what, like, Seguro talks about, what Ralph Smart talks about, and some of the other people who are spiritualists, Teal Swan. All these different people who have gone through, and Teal went through some hell. Like, literally, she was part of an actual cult. And got out.
Good times.
But, yeah, horrid. But this is the things you talk about where what works for one person might not work for another.
Right.
And this is what any of the watchers listening today, they need to know what we're discussing and how we're going back and forth isn't a banter right now. This is what works for me versus what works for her,
right,
versus what's going to work for you.
Right.
We both agree in grounding. You got to ground.
Definitely.
However you ground, you ground. You know, some people have to stay stationary. Some people can do it indoors, outdoors. What we're actually talking about is our different methods to our madness.
Right.
As I like to call it.
Well, not our madness.
Well, no.
Our unmadness, really.
I always tell people it's a method to the madness.
Right.
Because the reason I use the term madness is what you might do. Someone goes, what the hell? Is she out of her freaking mind? And then they'll listen to me going, is JP really that anal of ritual that he has to do it this way? But it's the method to my madness.
Right.
They might think that's totally asinine.
You're all about structure, and I'm all about freeform.
But you know what?
But in general.
And structure is good to a degree.
Right.
And then the other half, I have that free bird side of me that just says, hey, I'm outdoors right now, and this is good enough for me. And I can be outside for 15 minutes and walk back in the door.
Right.
And be like, okay, I just need to get that out of my house and out of my system. But that's the whole object, and people need to understand that our methods are our methods. You have to develop your own methods. We can tell you a baseline of, like we said, grounding. Some people say before you even get into a meditative state, shower up, cleanse your body first.
I don't do any of that.
Which is considered ritual, which I'm like, well, why would you do that? Because now, like for me, sometimes when I get into a meditative state, it turns into like Bikram's yoga. All of a sudden, I start sweating like profusely.
Really?
I feel like, no joke. He goes, Bikram's yoga, he does that hot yoga.
Right.
It's like, I shouldn't say he does it, but anybody who teaches his classes there, like 100 to 105 degree.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, neither am I. I hate the heat. But
me too.
But it's really weird, though, is that energy you feel. It feels like hot yoga, even though your body temperature is normal. You feel that energy building up, and next thing you know, you're sweating everywhere, and
so it's kind of like how I'm in, like how I do sweat lodge.
Yes. Now imagine. Okay, here's the thing. You brought that up. Imagine a sweat lodge. Okay, without the lodge part, you're just sitting here. You're in lotus, or you're just in a nice butterfly position, or just a chair position. You're just sitting in the chair.
I do a lot of laying down meditation, too.
You're doing the necks from left to right kind of thing. And the next thing you know, you're just profusely sweating after 3 minutes.
Wow.
Because of the energy buildup,
Is that because it was blocked?
You know what? Sometimes I wonder, is it a block?
Because I've never experienced that.
Oh, my God. Yeah. I don't know if it's a blocked chakra that's been unblocked, or it's like a floodgate starting to open up. But you start feeling the little rising of what they call the kundalini.
Right.
The snake and the coiled snake in your spine. And it's like it literally starts from the root chakra and goes all the way up to your crown. And it's the weirdest sensation. But you really start feeling alive more and more and more. And then you hit a level of clarity, I would say, where everything that is in the monkey mind becomes organized mysteriously. I'm talking about, it's the weirdest sensation, because you're like, oh my God, I gotta do this, and then the next thing you know, it's like, stop worrying about what you gotta do next.
Yeah.
You're in the moment now.
Yeah.
Live it. And it's like a light switch where a trigger goes off, and now you're in this headspace where you are actually peaceful. I try to use movies and different songs and things like that nature to tell people what it's like. So if anyone who's seen the movie Dune, okay, that's old school.
I've read the books too.
Okay, when Paul drinks the water of life, and of course he's screaming and everything because of the transmutation, all this other stuff, right? But remember that part where after he drinks the water of life, and next thing you know, he's actually astral projecting. And the coolest thing about that movie is everything was a whisper. It's like they had dialogue and everything was a whisper. But during that whisper part, he goes traveling without moving.
Right.
That's almost what it's like. It's like you get to an area where now you've gotten to, like I said, you're no longer thinking about what you have to worry about with, oh, I got to go pick this up, I got to go buy groceries, I got to go balance my checkbook. You just hit a level of clarity that just, you're astral projected out of your body. And your body's physically anchored here.
Right.
But with your eyes closed, you're literally traveling without moving. And you get this sense and urge of, I don't want to say strength or power, but you feel alive now. Like, your heartbeat, your breathing. You become very self-aware. If you have never been self-aware before, you get that self-awareness. And the best way to describe it, because, he was laying there and having that kind of deal, sitting there having that kind of explosion, and then the third eye just literally popping open. And there's a lot of videos out here about third eye popping open, third eye exercises, rubbing the third eye, waking the third eye up, the pineal gland, decalcifying it, which that part I believe you have to do. But there is, I have to admit, there is a level. Something does happen when that third eye does open. You do, you become self-aware a little bit more than normal for your first time out, for someone just experiencing.
See, and I'm not sure when my first time was, because it had to have been when I was very young, because
when we were young,
I've never had
innocent.
anything like, I've never felt the boom, you know what I mean? I've never felt that, like,
oh, you mean
where I'm at? You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
so it had to have happened when I was very young.
Oh, God.
Because, everyone's like, oh, yeah, it feels like this, feels like that. I was like, maybe I've just always been open and I just don't know the difference.
That could be possible, too. I will say, growing up, like I said, with having different heritage background, things of that nature, and different things taught to me at such a young age, the third eye was never something that wasn't really discussed as a third eye.
Okay.
It was talked about as having clarity.
Okay.
And then, of course, when I got older, hearing about, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentient. Oh, Claire. Claire. Oh, okay, I get it now. So when I got older...
See, and none of that was ever discussed with me. When I was a kid, I was just there.
And that's the thing. It was just the clarity. Like, oh, you know what? You might sense things. People do have sixth sense. And that's how it was very, I don't want to say dummy down for me when I was younger. But
at least you had that conversation, because I never had that conversation.
When you have dreams and you see people that you've seen their picture before.
Right.
But now you're talking to them.
Yeah.
And then they're telling you about events that's happened that you weren't alive for.
Right.
And they're telling you, hey, give this message.
You might have been alive for.
Allegedly. That's another episode of The Watcher's Point of View.
That's the layers of your body, or not your body, your
consciousness.
Your big self.
Well, and it's weird.
And I have a concept about that, too.
Okay, see, and you wonder why this is going to be a long series.
So, yeah, right.
No, but it was weird, because I had those conversations with my grandmother and stuff, and my mother, and I would tell them, hey, you know what, I saw, this, or I heard this.
Right.
I was told this, and they would kind of look at each other like, really? Well, I think I told you this before, where I actually was laying in bed, and I literally felt my body get slammed back, my spiritual self gets slammed back into my body.
I used to have that as a kid all the time.
And I opened up my eyes, and my room was bright white.
Interesting.
Like, I did one of, that kind of eye shaking head kind of thing, had the eyes closed, and started, like, doing this, and said, okay, give my eyes time to adjust. You never did tell me this before. Well, not cool. This part.
Okay.
But this is, the whole story.
Okay.
And I'm looking, and now I'm looking around, and I'm talking about every wall, everything in the area was pure white light.
Interesting.
It had the outline of what like a window would look like of
Okay.
a bed, but it was energy. It wasn't a bed. It was
Got
pure
it.
white light energy. And I remember like getting slammed, like I said, back into my own body.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking around and I was like, wow, that was interesting. But I remembered my journey, you know, because when I snapped back, I was like, what the hell was that all of a sudden?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, everything went back to normal. Well, I gave myself a couple minutes to think, and all of a sudden, I had like total recall, no pun intended, of where I was at. And I remember being by a tree, and I was sitting underneath it. I felt a raven on each shoulder, my spirit totem.
Right.
Right? I saw a wolf on the path.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, I know that's my earth sign, meaning my sign here, not
Okay.
my spiritual sign. My spiritual sign's a raven.
Got it.
My spirit totem is raven. But
Oh.
the wolf has always been my earth physical realm kind of spirit animal.
That's for me is the hawk and the horse.
See? So now,
I never realized that.
and that's the weird thing. Now, next thing I know is I'm walking on this path and I see a lady there, and this lady is dressed up in like an old school Native American Indian kind of outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the colors and I'm like, those colors look familiar. And I didn't know if it was Seminole or whatever, but did some research on it. It was Miccosukee
Okay.
bloodline,
Right.
you know. And I was like, okay. I was like, you're related to me. And this lady nodded. And I'm like, okay, I'm having a conversation here with this woman, but she's not talking to me, but I can hear her.
Right.
And I remember what she looked like and everything, and I was so weirded out by it. I had to talk to my mom, right? And this is when my grandmother was still alive too. And I told my mom, I was like, listen, crazy thing happened. I saw this lady. She's dressed this style. I said she had black raven hair. I'm talking about just dark, silky, like the sun hits it, it's shining raven hair. And it was down to her ankles. She maybe stood 5'1", maybe 5'2" in height. And I described her, and she goes, I think I know who you saw. She's like, there's only one person that has actually seen her. Okay, so you know me, I'm like cliffhanger now, like WTF. Who is this woman and how is she related to us? And apparently it's my grandmother's mother's mother. We got 3 or 4 mothers in there.
Okay.
But that's who it was.
Wow.
And my grandmother's eldest brother is the only one who has actually ever seen her and had a picture of her. Apparently what I described was identical to the picture.
Wow.
Identical. So that was, it sent chills up my spine for a moment, because my thing is like, wow, I know I've been able to do things as a kid, and I had a little bit more sixth sense, and I was on that next spiritual level a little bit as a kid. But you know, when you're a kid, you don't know what the hell it is,
Right.
you know. But that's still that innocent.
I didn't know until I was like 20.
Right? You know, you said that innocence, and you know everything's
Yeah.
coincidence, or okay, whatever. You just chalk it up as BS or something else, or you know, superstitions,
Weird
and
voices in my head.
all sorts of stuff. You know, you chalk it up to everything but what it actually could be. But after that point, that's when I started really getting more into third eye stuff, chakras. I didn't seek things out; things found me.
Right. Because you were ready to learn them, and the teacher appeared.
Exactly. It's like Reiki. Started studying different healing arts, and then there's healing arts I actually knew already.
Right. Me too.
You know, it's just like how
I didn't know what they were, but I could heal people that were across country. They could feel my energy healing
right?
them.
Exactly. And it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are going to be listening going, this is 90% bullshit here.
It's not actually.
It really isn't.
Like, it's kind of weird. I get it, but it's actually real.
It's kind of a disclaimer we should have threw out earlier. Like, hey, these stories and these events that have happened to us are legitimate events. Like, we're sharing our experiences with you this first couple episodes. Or I should say this breaking in episode
right.
of the spiritual side of the Watcher's point of view, and talk about spirituality, meditation, and doing yoga, oracle readings, and all this other stuff, spirit communication, which of course can lead into paranormal stuff, which we'll touch a little bit on that. But it's like, just right now, talking about the meditative stage, if people are truly interested in seeking self and getting themselves started, meditation is a big part of going through this, and understanding the 6 clairs, the clairvoyance, clairsentience, all this other stuff, which is basically all your 5 senses plus your spiritual sense.
Right.
That's the clarity of your senses. And if people really start getting into that right now, or wanting to know more, using crystals, that's BS. And I'm sorry, man.
Once you've had a crystal explode in your hand, you're pretty much hooked.
When I was younger, this is talking about vibration now. Sound and motion, things of that nature. I actually found out that the younger you are and the more innocent you are, the stronger your vibrations are.
Oh, yeah. That's because you're not clouded by all the other crap.
And I remember when my grandfather was alive, we were all sitting at the dinner table at my grandmother's house. And it was my grandfather, grandmother, my uncle, my cousin, mom, and me. And my grandfather had this thing for just screwing with me every now and then. Okay? And he doesn't do it to be mean, but he's like one of those old school Capricorns. He's a hardworking man, but every now and then he has to screw with someone. He wants what he wants when he wants it, the way he wants it. And me being the Virgo grandson who didn't fall for that BS, I just So every now and then he would screw with me. So we're having dinner and everything, and of course Grandpa starts screwing with me a little bit verbally. I become enraged.
Okay.
And which was totally unlike me. Right? Totally unlike me. But I don't know what was triggering me, and I kept seeing him because he loved his beer. Right? So he's sitting here drinking it from the glass, and I keep looking, and I'm like, and I'm still looking at this beer because it's what he enjoys. And I could feel my hands start to tingle. Like, I'm talking about, like when your hands start falling asleep and you feel that numbing, tingling sensation. That's why I started feeling, even though my
hands weren't
falling asleep. I could feel the tingling start, and it got stronger and stronger. And I literally remember going like this. And for people who can't see, I'm closing, I have my hand open and I'm making a fist and closing that fist. When I went full closure on the fist, that glass shattered.
Wow.
And I was focused on it. I'm just like, and then I just went like that, and you just saw the right there, and I kind of looked, I was like, whoa. And that's when I started getting the nickname Damien from The Omen. Nice. Yeah. So, not that that gave me a complex at all
not
for a few years.
Well, going back to you had the White Room situation.
Oh my God, that was nuts. Several times I've actually had that, but the first time scared the shit out of me.
Different version of that. Mine is actually Blue Flame.
Really?
Yes. So it would go ahead.
It's the actual royal blue, light blue flame.
Light blue.
No colors. No other colors. It's just the blue.
Like a light blue with a little bit of white.
Okay.
And that would encapsulated my room. Because, and I know this for a fact, there were lots of things trying to get in my room when I was a kid. Yeah. So
on this episode of Poltergeist,
well, there were things and later on, like when I was in my 20s, I'll tell you that story in a minute.
episode 2 of Evil Speak.
Yeah, it was frightening. But so when I was a kid, I don't know why I would do it, and I didn't know until I was in my 20s that I was just putting up barriers so things couldn't get in. But I would do it at least once a week.
On Evil Dead 1987. Sorry.
No, it would be in the 70s at first, and then it would get into the 80s.
Okay, so you actually had your Necromonicon thing going on and early on. Okay. Yeah. I'm being very jokeful right now.
I know you are.
Because people are probably sitting there going, flames? Why are there flames?
Right, and everyone's like... And then
You're just scaring the crap out of everyone.
I was told later that...
I'm just going to kind of...
That could have been very dangerous because it can actually turn into flame, like actually burn down your house. I've heard that.
She's a fire starter, twisted fire starter.
But I'm not, obviously, because my house is still there because I live in it.
You're a fire starter, twisted fire starter.
But I didn't know that when I was a kid.
Can we actually use the Prodigy 8 seconds?
Probably not. No.
Fire starter, twisted. Okay.
No. And I do.
It's been implied, so
what's
it's good
really
enough.
funny is that when I was little, my dad built this fire, and he had it just. It was at my grandma's house in the fireplace, and he had it just so it was ready to go on big fire, if somebody blew on it. So he made me blow on it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I started a big fire!" I didn't. My dad was just messing with me. And that was the other thing. He used to do things to trick me, and I'd always go, "Dad, are you tricking me?"
Twisted fire starter.
Right. Thank you. So yes. So fire's been a big thing with me. Fire and water. Water because I'm a Cancer, but fire because fire.
You're not Greek at all, right?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
You're not Greek, I am. I'm Italian a little bit.
Twisted fire starter.
German, a lot Irish, Scottish, British. Yeah.
European.
I'm white. Like anything white you can be, I am. Like, I think I've got a little Swedish in me.
Here's the thing. I'm picturing people who are now watching the video right now, hearing that comment and going, huh?
When I got my DNA done, I was like, how much whiter could one person be than I am? Because I am freaking white. Like, white. Yeah.
You know this is about spirituality, not...
I know, but I'm just saying.
I'm
like,
just with you.
It's really weird because I connect so much with Native American stuff,
right? And
that I have none.
I'm being comical with it right now. It's just that all of a sudden I just started thinking, people are going to be like, we went from spirituality to DNA testing. Hi, and
it's all DNA, connected.
What was it? Ancestral 23 and all the other crap, and
I did Ancestry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
What? And you know what's really even weirder? That my mom is actually half Italian. I'm only 7%. Because both my parents were Irish.
Okay.
So it just kind of, Irish trumps a lot of stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
You know what? But speaking about heritage stuff, thing that did spook me a little bit, though, and something I'm interested in finding out more about, during one of my, what I like to call episodes, when I actually go into a meditative state without trying, or when my body goes, hey, listen, we got to show you something,
I want one of those.
Oh, those are the worst.
Really?
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Like, you're going to go to bed early. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you're like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm going to go to bed now. And you get yourself all prepped up and everything, shower and do whatever you got to do, and you're ready to fall out. Mm-hmm. Now, you physically know you are drained. And you would think that's going to be part of the reason why your brain's kicking this in. Oh, no. It's not like that. You're in bed. You're laying there. Next thing you know, it's like you've been grabbed, excuse me, literally grabbed, bed and all, and yanked to another location.
Oh.
And now you're like laying in bed, and you're like, why does it feel warm here? And then you like wake up and you're like, okay, I know I'm asleep right now, because you still see your body laying on the bed.
Right.
In your house.
This sounds like a short story I started writing, actually. It's kind of weird, so it must have really happened.
So it's like, you can see your physical body in the bedroom, right? When you're getting up. But then when you move away from your body now, because it's like, hey, guess what? You're anchored. Don't worry about nothing. Just let this happen. Then it's just like you see the second half of like your spiritual side, or your metaphysical, whatever you want to call it, wherever your brain has now taken you subconsciously. And you're
But
in a
is it
different
your brain?
That's why I say metaphysical, because we don't know.
Because I feel like it's your big self spirit, whatever you want to call it.
It could be some people say, well, you went to a different universe. Well, I don't want to call it a different universe. Plane of existence, maybe. An alternate reality, maybe. I wasn't in the matrix of what we call every day, but I know I'm literally, like, here we go with using a movie again. It's like in Doctor Strange. His body's asleep. He's over here reading the manual. Right. That's basically the same way, but different. I'm in another location, and all this Egyptian art was around me. Right? And it was like hieroglyphics, and I was understanding it. And I don't understand hieroglyphics, but
you do.
Exactly. And then it's like I'm walking past all these different things, and I smelled a strong scent of honey. And I'm like, honey wine. I'm like, mead. Okay, so that's automatically I go to the Nordic side of things. Right. But I know honey wine was nothing like not known. It's known. Honey wine is honey wine. But it was weird because it was still had the Egyptian feeling to everything. And I'm looking around again and again, and I'm noticing temples. Not pyramids, temples. Okay. And
so were you...
But now here's more to the story. Okay. My buddy, when I told him my story, said I was in the Acacia records. Oh. That's what he told me. He goes, you were in a level of existence that you were finding out more about yourself and
so
others.
It was a past life regression, quote unquote.
But
ish.
That
was you.
Yeah, hit the mic once. Well, you're famous for it, whatever.
I know, but it's funny when you do it.
But the nutty thing was, while I was in this location, library-looking thing, but temple, I went past something that's silhouetted, like a image of me, and I walked back, and here's the weirdest thing. I'm in like a typical Egyptian-style garb. Okay. You know, it looked like something from the movie The Ten Commandments. All right. You know, the best way to describe it. I didn't have like a Pharaoh's headpiece on or anything.
You just had the tunic-y situation.
Yeah, had tunic, belt wrap. I had boots, not sandals.
Did you look like you?
Oh, I'm me.
Okay.
I look identical to me. Only thing is I had this long prince's lock hanging from my head. Okay. And that's once again describing the movie, the Princess Lock with the braid on the side of the head, and it came down right to a little bit past my collarbone. Yeah, and it was almost like I was reading knowledge while I was walking. Okay. So I had things coming in front of me, but it was very library-ish. Library-ish. Yeah. You know why I'm making comments like that? Remember Boondock Saints? Yes. You know, nameology. You know, what's the symbology? Symbolism. Where's the symbolism? So, you know, I'm never going to do a straight up deal without making some kind of jokey joke while we talk.
That's who we are.
Well, I don't want people to start getting overly serious about, oh my God, watch this point of view. They get so serious. We're still comical too. We got to have some banter. It'll take away from who we are if we don't banter. So yeah, the symbolism.
Symbolism.
You know, it's symbology. No, the word you're looking for is symbolism. The vernacular in question.
No. Now we're getting big words.
Oh yeah, going there.
Right.
Yeah, but back to the story though. Yes, we digress. Don't forget. It literally was like being in a library. And I would have something pass by my face real quick, and I would instantly just knew it. Just instantly knew what it was.
Well, because you had already seen it.
And then it was telling me different things about different people, and it's like, oh, okay, so why are you showing me someone else's records, and why do I have access to this?
Right. That is interesting.
I'm like, why do I have access to someone else's knowledge? But then later on, it's like I'll come across somebody who is saying this, that, or the other, who's a friend. And they're like, I've been having a rough time with this, and I've been thinking about this, and I don't know what to do. And all of a sudden, I'll have a recall of like this tablet. Mm-hmm. And then I know what to tell them. Yeah. It's like, I'm like the mailman.
Interesting.
It's like I had that message delivery. It wasn't like my usual mailman thing where it's like, hey, I'm hearing this person, they are telling me they used to be your family
member. It's just
member.
something you're recalling.
It's like, hey, this is the information you need to get you through what you're going through right now. It's not wanting a spirit coming to me. This is knowledge from almost your hall of
contract.
Records. That's like your hall of records that I'm going into.
Well, I see it more as a contract.
But it's still weird, though, because why, it's my question, did I have access to it?
Because you needed to.
Well, yeah, but it's someone else's records.
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, do we all have access to those records? And
no, we're not all ready for that.
Well, not.
Heck, most of us aren't even ready for our own. Like, let's be real. Else's. Right.
Well, that's true. That's true. But it just felt comfortable afterwards, though. Mm-hmm. And when I was in that area, it was just weird to see. And it makes you wonder, well, from remember this? His story.
Oh.
It made me wonder how much of the history that I did study about the Kisha records, emerald tablets, things of that nature, how much of that is like legitimate now? The 3 initiations or 3 initiants, different books that pertain to these things. It got me wondering, going, wow, there might be something.
I love how you have read all that stuff, because I have not. However, I know what you're talking about, because somehow I know.
And it's like I even told you, like going back to people like Ralph Smart and like Saguru and stuff like that, they actually talk about these things. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they talk about it as the singular person, like you said, when you're ready, things of that nature. But it seems like it's focused on one person. And then here I am on the other side of the page where it's like, yeah, I get exactly what they're saying. But then why did I turn into a mailman for that? Because from what I've known, those records are your records. So was it my record to have someone else's record to give them the knowledge they need, or
there's got to be
actually their record that I actually got wind of?
If you think about it, somebody's got to be the keeper of the records,
that's
right?
That's a hell of a place to be a keeper of. If you saw what
if
you have seen what I saw at that point in time, it is. Well, put it this way, I don't know what other people have seen, but the vision that was given to me at that point in time was, like I said, going into a temple, and it was very golden brown, very shiny, very nice though. I'm talking about, it almost looked like not to sound weird about it, but it almost looked like something out of like Vegas, like Las Vegas. Right. You would see in Las Vegas, like the Caesar's Palace, Luxor hotel, kind of Egyptian kind of thing going on, and or going to like a history museum or anything dealing with like an exhibit. But it was huge, and it wasn't like illuminated, like bright light
Right.
illuminated. But it was energy almost. Like you were floating and seeing like sentient energy.
Do you feel that is the beginning of everything?
That's a good question. That's an excellent question. Unfortunately, I don't have an excellent answer or a good answer to give you. I really don't have an excellent answer to give on that one because I didn't sense that.
Okay.
It was almost.
So it was like here's building number 2.
I had a choice to go there.
Okay.
And to go in there. Mm-hmm. Upon my entry, it was almost like the building knew I was supposed to be there.
Right.
Like everything there was alive.
Okay.
Everything there was very welcoming and warm. Mm-hmm. But it was also like, here's your info. You're fine. Don't worry about anything. You can handle what's coming around you. Don't worry about it. This is where you're supposed to be. Don't reach further than where you're at. It's like, well, that seems kind of,
lame.
Well, it wasn't
not
like,
lame,
it
but
wasn't
like
lame, but it was kind of like, well, did I plateau already here?
Right, like,
but no, it wasn't like a plateau. It was telling me I'm right where I'm supposed to be at. Like, you know how we talk about the paths that people are on?
Right.
It literally was telling me I'm on the right path. Like at this point in time, you don't have the variable, what I call the 5-point path, where it goes straight and then splits off into these different locations.
Okay.
It's like, no, you are where you need to be. And it's like, but let us show you something. And literally, it was about the size of this paper.
Okay.
And it literally, that was like the tablet that came in front of me.
Interesting.
And
this happened, how old were you?
In my 20s.
Okay.
It happened later on in my 40s. I'm 47 now. Mm-hmm. But it was weird because the first time it happened, I didn't have a name for anything.
Uh-huh.
When it happened in my 40s, I now had a name to it.
Okay.
Now I had an idea of what this area was, what this location is. Now I have understanding and, once again, clarity
right.
Of what's going on. But it was from my meditative practices.
Okay.
And this wasn't from, people like, well, you're pagan, you're heathen, you're born again Christian, you're this, that, and the other, you're Roman Catholic. It doesn't stem from that. It's not from a religious standpoint. I want people to know that. This isn't from a religion, whether it be, like I said, organized, pagan, whatever. I don't care. And it's not disrespect to anyone's religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs. Please do not take it that way. But this experience wasn't based on that.
Well, I think that
it was
to actually be connected with God or the universe or whatever you want to call it, you can't follow organized religion because you're so concentrated on what the word says that you don't connect with God.
And that is, I can agree with that. And once again, this is why we have to have a longer talk about this and more in detail. About just the different things in religion and the similarities and stuff like that. But what we're experiencing with the meditation part of it, the breathing exercises, the slow rhythmic breathing, getting yourself into those headspaces or getting your body into that state of consciousness was the wildest thing. And it didn't take much. And I've found out, even now at this age, that guided meditations, I can help people with that. It's like I can take you through a guided meditation, not to get you into that headspace, but for you to learn yourself and what you need to do to get into the
Honestly,
headspace.
I
can't take you to the headspace.
Terrified of you leading me through a meditation.
Gee, thanks.
And I don't mean that in...
Let's hear why.
And I don't mean that in like...
No, you done messed up already. So
we're looking for a new
co-host on the Watcher's Point of View. That fair girl Dana will be no longer shown.
Just being in your presence, it opens me up more because I don't normally see things. I feel them. But when I'm around you, I catch glimpses of shit.
Well, it's like I told you before, I'm like that charged up battery. It's
Right.
just like
But I'm
you are
that-
normally, and then it's like you put the
But I'm that person to somebody else. You know,
Okay.
like to other people. So that's weird to me because I'm the one who charges everyone.
you're like, it's mine. It's me.
It's me. No, but
It's all about me.
It's something that I've always done. And to find a person who's even more powerful than I am is amazing.
Well, thank you for that. I don't
You're
consider
welcome.
myself powerful, but
you
yeah,
are.
It's a compliment though to say that, hey, you know, when I'm around you, you know, hey, I can sense more, or
Right.
you know, I don't want to say skill set, but your level of intuition is amplified.
Right.
You know, that's actually
It's
a
kind of
compliment
how
and a half.
it's kind of like how I feel about New Orleans. Like I'm terrified to go there because I know how much stuff
Let's
I
see,
could.
voodoo capital of the
Right.
nation.
I know how much energy that I would pick up on.
Marvelous place for coincidences. Yeah.
I'm like, so I never felt the need to go there because I feel like my head would explode.
Well, and that goes in back to what we said about other episodes we're going to have here, like with paranormal investigations, the stuff that I've done during that time, and still to this day, where I've talked to people, and next thing you know, family members will start saying, "Hey, tell them this." I'm like, "Wait, what the hell was that?" I'm like, "Hey, you had a family member who was this, this, and this. They were wearing this, this, and this, and they died from boom, 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 boom." And next thing they're like, "How the hell did you know that?" And then, you know, now you got to
It's
go.
called Google.
Yeah, and now you got to go into the whole story of, hey, I don't mean to wear you out, but
Here we are.
so yeah, that's always a fun little conversation to have with people who are especially non-believers.
Right.
But no, seriously, the whole meditation, and like I said, we've gone from a bunch of I shouldn't say episodes, but variables of talking about meditation,
Right.
whether as you know, sweat lodges, this, that, and the other. I don't know, maybe, you know, we might put together a small clip. Sorry, I said the word small and clip with us together in the same breath. Yeah. Even our shortest clip is only, I think, was what, 40 minutes?
Yeah.
On our last thing that we did was like 40 some odd minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so much for being small, right?
It's just a quick one.
Yeah, let's do a quick catch up and let people know what's been going on.
Right.
45 minutes later, and when we do one of these numbers, like, you know what? We really need to wrap that up because this is turning into an actual episode, not an update.
Right. An update is supposed to be maybe 15 minutes.
Okay, for the
Maybe.
normal people who are doing the videos and podcasts, yeah, I'll give them that. For us, it's just like we just don't know, you know.
Yeah. We just keep going.
It's just like, you know. Well, hey, I've had my friends who have actually listened say, you know what, believe it or not, you helped me on the ride home. They're like, only problem is when I start laughing in the car on the expressway, they're like, sometimes I actually did have to pull over because the banter between you and I and some of the stuff that we've said, they're like, they just start cracking up and they're just like, they can't stop laughing. I'm like, well, that's kind of good. We have comedy still. We digress.
Yet
Yeah,
again.
but I'm thinking maybe we'll put together I still want to say short, but we'll put together a meditation routine. And
like have a meditation challenge?
I want to say a minute challenge, but you know what? Challenge would be good because maybe it would get people into kind of not seeing the way we do, but understanding better what we're discussing today.
Possibly.
So yeah, we might add a, you know, I don't want to say a how-to, but a written, you know, point A to point B preparation to this, and like have everyone hit us back later on. And you know what's really funny? I have not looked at the camera like at all.
No,
today.
me either.
You know, so people are gonna be like, "Hey, don't these guys usually look at the camera?"
Yes, we do.
You know. See, this is what
I
happens.
think I
when you
keep
take-
looking back and forth.
This is what
just to
happens
make
when-
sure that it's still
Right?
recording.
It's like, we're recording? Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, it still got
Yeah,
red.
we're
There we
recording.
go. Red lights on.
It
Red lights
rubs the
on.
lotion on its skin, you know. That wasn't creepy at all. But no, it's, you know, we should come up with that though.
Yeah.
You know, Ralph does a 7-day vegan challenge.
Which I think,
Well, hey, for 7 days, for some people who are carnivores like crazy.
Yeah. I get it.
Can you imagine someone having to do vegetables who's never did vegetables for crap in their life? Like, they use vegetables like we use them like a side of fries, but they're saying they're going straight vegetables for everything. And all of a sudden, how many people start twitching, especially if they have to go raw, who are just straight up meat eaters for the first time?
Well, I mean, raw's a process.
Well,
raw is a process.
I think the whole thing's a process, personally.
Well, it is. It is.
And that's what I'm saying. You give someone for 7 days to say you got to give up all that, no dairy, no nothing, and everything, just put them on a straight up vegan challenge. And
because I've been doing this over 20 years, so it's a little bit different.
So that's why, when I hear him say 7-day vegan challenge, I'm like, yeah. And I saw his 7-day vegan challenge. It isn't bad. But it's like, damn.
Yeah. But, I decided to do a year of just plant-based, so I've been vegan since the first.
That was the second episode we did, I think, when we talked about going raw, that you did that raw
right.
time and the vegan time.
When I was working with Karen, because she would feed me,
right,
and I didn't have to prepare anything.
But yeah, maybe we'll come up together with a challenge and a way for people to start getting into meditation and
connecting with everything,
and as well as their higher beings and spirits, and
it
not
actually
to be afraid of it either, because I truly, for as long as I've been opened to this and into this kind of, for lack of a better term, lifestyle, because it turns into a lifestyle for you. This way of consciousness, this way of living, I can truly say I've been way, way, way more comfortable with self. I've been healthier. I've been just more conscious of energy, people around me, how much energy I expend, how much alone time I need to recharge. I'm talking about I'm self-aware. And it does help you help others. And it actually gives me my purpose. Even like when I'm talking to Sean, the veteran guy, or Tom, or other veterans about, hey, what can we do to help, or how do we get the message out here? We talk about the drive, the passion, things of that nature. But I also notice through my meditation, I'm actually able to deliver the proper words to trigger them to get to where they need to go.
Right.
Like, it helps them. They help me help them. And it's just one big constant ball of energy that just keeps getting bigger and bigger and more positive. And that's what, we talked about in our last episode for the update. I can't even call it episode, but for the update, we talked about being more positive and having more positive messages out here.
Right.
And once again, this is one of the positive messages. Like, meditate, take time to yourself. There's nothing wrong with it, but you need to learn what you're doing too in the same breath, and you need to challenge yourself, and you need to quiet yourself. You need to start doing these things. Now, here's the question now, so we can wrap this up for our first episode of meditation, and, well, I should say the groundbreaker for some of the spiritual stuff.
Okay.
And I think we do this like every other month, go back and forth with the spiritual stuff. And because we don't do anything scripted here.
No, not at all. We're lucky we have notes to talk about certain things.
But it's kind of like I want to, like, this is our groundbreaking for meditation right now. And I kind of want to give people time to hear this message, kind of hear what we've done, and kind of be like, yeah, what is this, challenge like? And do an episode. Very small one. Allegedly, it's very small. Do a small,
big hair.
I don't even want to say update. Sure. It's been there the entire time.
Wow. Way to tell me.
Yeah.
Actually, it's
just waited.
I didn't look at my boobs the whole time. Sorry.
That's necessary to do right now. Wow.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
Irritated me.
Yeah, it's cool. That's what we do on the Watchers. Whatever. Harm none, judge none. Open heart, open mind. Is what it is.
Or edit.
No, we're not editing that. No, we're not going to edit that.
Come on. I was picking at my boobs.
That's a personal issue. You're human, and the people need to see how human, Dana is.
Am I?
Are you really?
Am I a human? Apparently, I was a space pig in a certain life. That's what I was told. I'm not even kidding. Someone told me that. I was a space pig soldier. And then I was born in the year of the pig. So, interesting. Moving on. What?
Yeah. Now, the people watching the video are going to be like, I understand what JP's dealing with over there. I feel for him right now.
Hey, I can't not tell what people have told me. I'm just saying. It's something.
Yeah, moving right along. On the watcher's point of view. No, seriously, though, I think we should do an update. Go over some steps to take people through.
Okay.
I think we should actually, on our next episode, outside of the meditation allegedly quick update that we do for the challenge and kind of spam that, I said we actually start bringing up the thing about music.
Okay.
And how that raises vibrations and binary beats, and actually how to use those during meditation or prior to going into that meditative state to kind of prep you up before you get into that
headspace.
And
there are some of those in
big time
Insight Timer.
Oh, in your app?
Yes, in my app. Not my app, because if it was my app, I'd be making lots of money.
And actually, I want to bring up a gentleman too, William Hoff.
Why do I know that name?
He's the guy who is Mr. I can take extremely cold temperatures.
Okay.
I think they stated he climbed Everest in shorts and a backpack.
Is he from Chicago?
No, but he actually, his story is a little tragic. His wife actually ended her life, left him with the kids and everything, and he had this whole. It wasn't a mental breakdown or anything, but he got into the yoga practices and things of that nature, breathing, and like literally he has a whole deal. And you know what, I actually might just throw that on inside the description and like hashtag his name so people can actually see what he's about. And like I said, hashtag Ralph Smart and deep divers and things like that, so people can get an idea of, and Saguru and all the rest of them. So they can kind of understand some of the people we're referring to,
right,
and the things that they've done, and kind of where their heads are at. But I think this is a good start, for a lot of people who want to understand spirituality, because right now we're like an hour 22 into this, and
we've touched on an eighth of
if that, because I still want to talk about the actual chakras themselves, breaking those down.
Right.
Like we said, the binary beats and music, how that affects people.
And I want
raising vibrations, frequencies, and Tesla codes, affirmations.
I feel like your one vision of other people's record.
The Acacia records? Right.
Feels kind of like my past life regression.
Okay.
That I did when I was young. It kind of feels like that's how you got there, if that makes sense.
I get you. I
know it's not.
My second time I got there was literally, it was like I was in Lotus. Even though I'm asleep.
Okay.
I'm in Lotus.
Sometimes I sleep like that, which is really weird.
I don't go into Lotus.
Oh, I do often.
Okay, like physically, I do not use Lotus.
Okay.
But all of a sudden I'm in that position, right? And the palms are up, kind of like the Watcher's picture. And when I'm there, though, I'm always wearing some form of Egyptian style robing cloth. Yeah, it's like almost. I don't want to say it's
so interested in.
I don't want to say it's my uniform, but it is black and gold.
Okay.
it's almost like an armor, but it's not armor.
Right. It's like protection.
It's like, it's almost like, how should I put it? It's my insignia.
Okay.
That's on this like breastplate. And it's my insignia, my staff, everything that's there. It's like, this is his, and he is supposed to be here. It's not like...
I almost feel that you're here, but that was your job.
Yeah and no. I kind of where you're at, but it's not like I'm a guardian, because I don't feel like a guardian.
Right. You're not.
I don't
no.
feel like the librarian there. I don't feel like a worker there who's putting stuff together or taking stuff off the shelf. It's
You're the information desk.
I don't even feel like that, but I can sense where you're going with that. It's not even like the master of that domicile or area.
Right.
But it is a thing of, if someone else is there, the garb that I'm in identifies me to others there that, how should I put it? I feel when I'm there, everything around me is very angelic, very sentient, very energy.
Yeah.
And it's when I'm there, it's like this physical being who's now here in a spiritual form is authorized to be here. This is who he is. This is his identifying, like, nameplate kind of thing.
Right.
And here's his, like, top secret clearance pass to be here. That's the best way to describe it. It is.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's, oh my God, it's so weird. And it feels like, I don't want to say uniform, but
It's your identifier almost.
it's my regalia.
Okay.
It's my regalia to be there. And it's like my initiation garb that I'm done with the initiant side of this. But I'm recognized as someone who should be there. And it might sound weird because some people are like, well, where the hell is he at? Because it doesn't sound like the Acacia Records or anything. But
who knows what that looks like? Let's be honest.
But it's weird, but it's the best way to describe it.
Right.
It feels, and I sense that. People are probably going to be listening to us like, you bunch of freaking weirdos. But
yes, I am. I'm a weirdo, and I'm cool.
That could be just be a higher level of consciousness. And I believe that we all have the ability to attain a higher level of consciousness.
I disagree with you.
I believe people have that ability. It's if they want to get there, and if they have the drive to get there, or if they're, I don't even want to use the word, if they've woken up. I don't want to use that term.
Yeah, woke is really overused.
It's been bastardized like a lot of other terms have been. But when people have lifted the veil from their sleep.
How about ascended?
Ascension is a good one. Transcendence.
I like that better than woke.
Well, when they hit their next evolution.
But I feel that there's not enough people who are at that stage at this time.
I think there's too much involved these days with telling lies to your vision, aka television. Oh yeah, I believe there's.
I watch television 24 hours a day.
Yeah, tells lies to your vision. But I believe there's so much negativity with the media and stuff that I don't want to say it's dummied down people, but they've become crutched or reliant on TV, social media. No one unplugs themselves long enough now. Not everyone, but no one takes the time. Like right now, if someone's listening to us, you're gaining knowledge to further where you're at.
Right.
To have an understanding. You might find something in what we're saying, no matter what episode it is of us hanging out, traveling, talking about travel, food, whatever. You might find a little nugget there to expand your horizon.
Right.
And that's kind of where it is. We're looking at things with an open heart and open mind, like some people might not do. And we might give someone another outlook on something that they had a negative outlook before.
Right.
And it's the same thing. I feel that people have that, but they have to disconnect from the negativity. They have to unplug from the negativity. They have to get back to nature, for lack of a better term.
Well, yeah, but getting back to nature is not like a...
I'm not talking about caveman nature.
No. Like, it's hard. It's hard for people who, even though in Chicago we have a lot of nature, like we have huge parks, which are full of trees. There's Lincoln Park Zoo, which is nature galore. Free. Well, not free to park there.
Well, nothing's free to park on the north side, man. They're getting their money on the north side.
I remember being able to park there and then go to the lakefront in the middle of the night after, drinking with my friends. But I digress. But there's some creepy stuff that happens on the lakefront, I'm just saying.
Yeah, especially nowadays, so...
No, like, spiritually creepy.
Well, considering the history of Chicago...
Exactly.
That's not surprising.
No.
But that goes back to... Here we go again. That's another episode. That's later episode about how water...
We better wrap this up because that battery's about to die.
Oh, no, I'm looking at that too. But, seriously, that goes into another episode about water... currents, how things flow with currents, and now we're talking about some of that's paranormal too.
Oh yeah.
And so that's a whole different saga. So let's do it like this, because we're going to keep people going. Okay, what the hell's next?
We don't really know. It'll just come out of our mouth.
We know what's going to happen next. We know we already got the ideas for the next episode.
19 episodes.
Minimum. But don't forget, we still have to see what we can do for the travel stuff. But, basically, what we're doing right now, we're going to do a final wrap-up for the meditation, go over some of the other stuff for some of the upcoming episodes so you guys have knowledge of that. And then we're going to do a quick sign-off. And so real quick, for the next episodes, it's like we still have to do Happy Lamb. The hot pot place.
Yeah, I was like, what?
The Happy Lamb. We still got to do that.
I thought he was talking about something spiritual.
It's going to be... See, that's why I said we're don't talking about spiritual stuff right now. We're just going to cut it right there because the battery's going to die soon. So Happy Lamb for food.
Right.
Because that's a place that's hot pot. You get your vegetarian, vegan over here, and you get your carnivore. How are they going to be able to handle us in the same pot? Because... I'm not going to be dipping my...
I don't think it's the same pot.
That's where I'm going to... Exactly. So that's where I'm kind of like, let's see how they're going to actually deal with that.
Okay.
As well as... Because I've been there before. But going there and everyone dipping in the same pot or whatever, it doesn't matter. But now I'm going with someone who is not the carnivore.
Right.
I know they take care of you on the peanut side of it because they took care of me with that. And, oh, wait, you can't have this saucer. It has peanuts in it, or, it's made with peanuts oil and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, perfect. They remembered. And she snatched it right away. But the food is ungodly good. But now I'm really going to do the food review there because I'm going to try some different things. But I'm really going to be interested to see how they're going to let us do what we want to do there in the sense of 2 separate pots, and keep us in the same area.
Right. Because
we want to sit there and talk and do a review.
Right.
So, it's going to be cool. And that's another thing. Of how many of these restaurants, due to our dietary restrictions and habits, are going to be able to take care of us, and how willing are they to do that? Right. So that's definitely a big one because we're not the only 2 that have allergies, restrictions, food restrictions, things of that nature. And see what they do with us. Yeah. So between that, of course, more episodes with meditation. I want to go our next one that we talk about before we get into like the hardcore stuff. I want to talk more about Sadhguru. Okay.
I feel like we've got into some hardcore stuff already.
Oh yeah, but I want to get like into his stuff and kind of, I know this is the channel Watch Point Review is our thing, but I kind of want these guys to know, and I mean by guys, the fellow watchers, to know about Ralph Smart and Segura. Whether you guys like them, you don't like them.
You should at least expose yourself to them.
Listen to what they got to say. You might not agree with everything, but like with us, you might not agree with everything, but it's still good.
Heck, we don't agree with each other all the time.
Truth. But yeah, definitely people need to get into that. But we'll have the challenge done by then. Put that together. See how many people have done it. And I want to talk about mood rest in yoga.
Okay.
The hand positioning.
Yeah.
Proper hand positioning.
I kind of started getting into that recently.
Okay, and I got a whole thing about that.
I'm sure you do.
Well, because mood
and
rest...
I have more yoga stuff than you do, I believe.
And my mood rest stuff started with the martial arts.
Okay.
That led me into more of the yoga stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Because I've been doing yoga for
Well,
forever.
We didn't call them mood rest either. They were like kanji, hand positions.
Okay.
So that's how I learned different things of that nature. And
got it.
It led into meditation, kanji, mood rest, yoga. It's like, hey, guess what? We're all intertwined.
Yeah, it all has to do with energy and balance.
So, good times. But yeah, we'll put it together. If also you watchers have any questions, comments, concerns, hit us up on the Facebook like page, send us a message, which some of you have done, and thank you very much. Thank you for the continued support on the Watcher's Point of View. We greatly appreciate it. Like, I can't say enough to the people who keep liking and following, and much love to you all.
And
please
everything.
subscribe. Yeah, hit the little bell to know when
we have a new episode.
Right. I don't want to give the cheesy stuff that most other YouTubers do.
But it's the only way that we can get it to go.
Right. Yeah. Hit that like and subscribe button to know when the next one comes out. But like I said, we're back, man, and I got more guests coming on, more people coming in for other episodes, and just so much more. It's a lovely thing. So yeah, let's wrap it up, because let's let people know what we got here. We're at an hour and 36 minutes, which is not that bad. We're usually an hour 45, hour 50, and we're still talking.
Right.
But
I need to order new batteries because that one's about to die.
Crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, to our sponsors, Wisconsin Dells, House of Jerky, thank you very much for the continued support. For anyone else who wants to sponsor us, hit us up. As for the other followers, supporters, and fellow watchers out here across the world, thank you so much for your continued support. I've said it before, and I keep saying it, and I will always say it. Thank you. And with that, we're both going to bid you a good... Excuse me. We're going to bid you both adieu and a goodbye. Oh, boy. Yeah, the gas just kicked up right there at the end.
Hot.
Wow. Hot.
That's hot.
Nice and hot. Nice and good. But anyway, yeah, I said it. Nice and good.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, there wouldn't be a Watcher's Point of View without some comedy and banter and some craziness happening. You've already hit stuff. And you've
already hit stuff?
Yeah,
I can't get comfortable in this chair. We need to find something.
Oh, my God.
Because it's not working for me.
Chair,
no, I'll buy something. I'll bring it over.
Anyway, so... with all that being said, and see, people are going to love this banter too, because this is what they always laugh about. You guys say you're signing off and then you banter.
Yeah, and then we never go away.
Whatever.
You're like, you look at the time and you're like, damn it, they're going to be on another 15 minutes.
Just bantering.
Just shut the hell up already.
It's like, say goodbye and go. No means no.
I mean, it is a Midwest thing that you can never actually leave when you're saying you're leaving. You have to start at least a half hour beforehand.
At least, and then be at the door doing this. And I was like, hey, tell the kids, and the dog runs up and everything. Here, let's pet fight one more time. Yeah.
Oh, do you remember that? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. We got to go.
Bye, kids. Yeah, I got it. So, with that, we already said our shout outs to everyone, and gave a little love out to the sponsors and things of that nature. So on behalf of myself, JP Spector, that fat girl Dana, Watcher's Point of View, always have the open heart, the open mind. Stay safe, stay sharp, stay alive, and we will see you on the next episode of the Watcher's Point of View. Stay safe and healthy, all. Later.
Peace.